Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Golden Astrologer Podcast. This is Deb McBride, and it is Sunday, November 20th in the year 2022. And I am broadcasting from lovely Escazú, Costa Rica. And we have lots of Jupiter this week. We have a whole lot of Jupiter this week, and I think that's a good thing because we could use some Jupiter in the midst of all of this Mars retrograde, etc., that we've been through, and eclipses, etc. So we're coming out of the Scorpio time. And so it starts with the sun because the sun is making a trine to Jupiter tonight in my region of the world. In Eastern time, it's 11:07 p.m. In my time, it will be 10:07 p.m. And the sun is still in Scorpio, but it's trining Jupiter in Pisces. So the sun is very, very, very much at the end of Scorpio, finishing its tour of duty, its annual tour of duty in the sign of Scorpio, leaving Scorpio to enter Sagittarius on Tuesday at 3:20 a.m. Eastern time. So in the meantime, it's talking to Jupiter. And it's going to, just because it's talking to Jupiter tonight doesn't mean it's not talking to Jupiter tomorrow. It is. It's still in the Jupiterian realms. And this is good because we're already getting into that Sagittarius flavor and we're leaving behind the intensity and the stuff that Scorpio has at the end of the sign, which is, like I said last week, like boiling something down to its essence. And when we boil something down to its essence, it's very, very intense. And think of an essential oil. Think of like you're getting the essential quality of lavender or eucalyptus or something, and you know how strong they are, and you're not supposed to use them directly on your skin. You've got to dilute them with a carrier oil or whatever, and you have to be very careful with them. You don't want to touch your eyes. They're very, very intense. And so when we get to the essence of a sign, like at the anaretic degree, 29 degrees, we are looking at the deepest, most intense part of it. And Scorpio is a very intense sign anyway, and so we experience more intensity as a planet enters that realm. Now, last week, I felt that Monday was very, very intense. Monday the 14th was very intense. And that is a really, that was very powerful. But it was I thought it was dark. I think that things got lighter as Venus went into Sag on Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Mercury went into Sag. But we had some funny energy last week, I think. And I felt that Monday was hard. And there were other hard moments during the week. It brightened up when, Venus was trining Jupiter and then moving into Sag. And then, we got hit with that wave of Mars square Neptune. And I really started feeling that Thursday. And so as I said on Instagram, it was overshadowing everything else, the Mars square Neptune. And I don't think it has been as destructive as the first one. The first one was really hard. This one I think was just a little weird. I had some weird things going on, but I felt it in the sense of exhaustion, which I think is normal for Mars square Neptune. And Mars retrograde. And then also just needing to be zen. And I said that on Instagram as well. One moment at a time, not even one day at a time, one moment at a time, just moving slowly, not getting ahead of yourself. And I said last week here on this podcast, not overconfident. Still important. Mars is still squaring Neptune. We'll start to really move away tomorrow and the days after, and then we won't see this aspect again till March. And Mars will be direct then, as it was during the first hit of Mars to Neptune in October. But this is now, we're moving away from this, and I think it's just tired. I went to a wedding yesterday, so for sure, and can you imagine, I went to a wedding and people got married on the Mars square Neptune day, and one person was a Scorpio and the other person was an Aries. So they were bold, they didn't care, they just said, we're doing it. And somebody at the wedding said to me, yeah, they don't let grass grow under their feet, and they don't. So, and good for them. So I gave them many blessings. I wish them extremely well. when they said to me when they invited me, we're getting married during Mars retrograde. I'm like, yes, you are. So, there were some out of the ordinary things, but it's okay. Bless them, bless their hearts. And so Mars, Neptune, it's just exhausting. So I'm more I don't drink. So I'm like feeling like I'm hungover, but I think it had more to do that my cat woke me up twice this morning, and I got home late, so I wanted to sleep a little later, but the cat woke me up. So, and then she woke me up again after I went back to sleep. So yeah, the joys of having an animal. Yes, but we love them. In any case, we are leaving behind the end of Scorpio as the sun enters Sag, and the flavor of Sun trine Jupiter is happening now. So this is good. This is opening the door. This is opportunity. This is expansion. And we are feeling expanded, and we should feel expanded, and we should feel beautifully expanded. The Sun trine Jupiter is just an incredible, beautiful thing that only happens twice a year. So enjoy it, and open up to where you are valuable, and your own value and your sense of value about yourself and your life and the things you do and the things you have to offer the world. So this is really important. The sun highlights these things. It opens these things. And it's just a beautiful experience of expansion and all the good things that we each bring to the world. So that's one of the things. And so, Jupiter's always about the holiday spirit. And, like I said before, Santa Claus is the guy, he's the Jupiterian guy, the red suit, the deep laugh, the bringing of gifts, he's Jupiter. Even though that holiday happens during Saturn's domain, he's really Jupiter. But we are starting to celebrate those moments, and people are getting ready for that. So, and I just signed up with my credit card processor to do gift cards. So you can get a gift card from my website. Now, you can always buy gift certificates for astrology readings from my website, but now you can actually do a gift card, and I just posted it on Instagram stories. You follow the link. That means you can, maybe you don't want to give a whole reading. Maybe you want to give $25 towards a reading. Maybe you want to give $100 towards a reading, but it gives you the opportunity to put some money towards something. And, maybe you want to chip in with friends. I get a lot of people who want to give a gift certificate, and I say it's very generous. But, maybe you get together with 3 people and buy a gift for someone. Maybe it's their birthday or bridal shower or something. And I would tell you that you always need to be sure that someone wants the session. Okay? You have to be certain of that, because it's very, very important that you give a gift that they actually want. Astrology is a tricky gift, and I always recommend that you check in with the person before you give the gift, because sometimes they're like, oh, you think it's a great gift. Oh, I enjoyed this so much. It's so great. And then they're like, huh? What? Yeah, I've had people actually come to me annoyed that they had a gift certificate. So be sure they like it. Okay, back to Jupiter. The sun enters Sagittarius on Tuesday, and so we wake up on Tuesday morning in this region of the world, and we have the sun in Sagittarius. And so right now the sun is talking to Jupiter. Jupiter rules Sagittarius. This is nice. This is a big, bold Jupiterian offering, and it's good. It's a totally different energy than Scorpio. So it's different than being ruled by Pluto and Mars. This is really about being ruled by Jupiter, and Sagittarius is so buoyant. So we're getting happier and bigger and more expansive. In the meantime, tomorrow we have a very lovely aspect between Mercury and Venus, who entered Sag, as I said, a few days ago. And tomorrow they are actually conjunct in Sag. So Venus, planet of love and beauty and aesthetic and art and all things creative and generous, conjunct Mercury, planet of intellect, communication, thought, speaking, writing, all means of communication. And it's a great time to express thanks to someone. It's a great time to express gratitude for your life. It is a great time to do a gratitude ritual. All these things are perfect for what we're entering now. This is a big, I do Thanksgiving here, even though it's not a holiday here. It's a big grateful week. This is a big grateful week. And I really admire that. Like, it's great that the planets are lining up for this gratitude. And so things should start to lighten up a little bit. We should be a little more prosperous. We should be a little more abundant, and we should be grateful for our abundance and our expansion. So Mercury and the Venus together, and Sun entering Sag. So then we're going to have 3 planets in Sagittarius as of Tuesday morning, and that is just so much fun. So much fun. In addition to that, okay, the moon will enter Sagittarius on Wednesday at 3:16 p.m. Eastern Time. And that's amazing because that's 4 planets in Sagittarius. Wowie, lots of Jupiterian energy, all acknowledging Jupiter at the end of Pisces. Now, Jupiter's at 28 Pisces. And then Wednesday, so lots of stuff. Wednesday's the big day this week. The moon enters Sag, 3:16 p.m. Eastern Time. It will be void for exactly 2 hours, from 1:16 p.m. Eastern Time to 3:16 p.m. when it enters Sagittarius, okay? The last aspect it makes is it's in Scorpio. It trines Jupiter. More trines of Jupiter. Good. So we're going into this, some like rock and roll, happiness, opening up the doors. Then the sun and the moon are conjunct because we have a new moon on Wednesday. And this is a special new moon for so many reasons. First of all, it's in Sagittarius. Yay! Yay. 5:57 p.m. Big energy. Big energy as this new moon hits, right? And it's also big. It's big for so many reasons. Okay, so now we have 4 planets in Sagittarius. And here we are with the moon and the sun in Sag. We're having an early new moon. This isn't a new moon in Sag that happens at, halfway through Sag sometime in December. We're getting it as soon as the sun's in Sag. The moon enters the next day, and we're getting that new moon immediately. So we're going into the Sagittarius season with a bang, and a double bang, because Jupiter, planet of rulership of Sagittarius, goes direct. 6:02 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 minutes after the new moon. And I mentioned this before on this podcast, but this is big energy, big energy. So Jupiter has been retrograde for months, for 4 months. And this is something that we really look forward to when Jupiter goes direct, but it's going direct at the same time as the new moon. So this is very highly auspicious, generous, big energy. So may your Sagittarian days ahead just bring you tons of abundance and lots of love. And this is so good. This is so good. And if you're celebrating Thanksgiving, if you're in the U.S. or if you're an expat somewhere celebrating Thanksgiving, you have a lot to be grateful for and count your blessings. And think about how wonderful Thursday is going to be, because the moon will then pass the sun and it will conjunct Venus first thing in the morning, Thursday, conjunct Mercury right after that. It's going to trine Chiron, so it's going to cheer up that Chiron energy, and it's going to oppose Mars later on in the evening. But that's going to be really the wee hours of Friday morning. And so that just Venus, Mercury that we just had on Monday is going to get the blessings of the moon, fresh from being the new moon, So this is really amazing. This is some really thick, big, powerful energy. So, of course, it comes with a caveat. Don't spend all your money on Black Friday, okay? Don't go sitting in the parking lot of your big box store on Thursday night at midnight. Don't do it. Get some rest. Mars is retrograde. Okay? So just take it easy. I love the day after Thanksgiving because, I used to go shopping with my mom at Macy's when I was a kid. That was our tradition. But Macy's it was a different story then. It wasn't this crazy Black Friday. We're opening at 5 a.m. that thing. It was a lot of fun. It wasn't this madhouse. It gradually became that by Christmas Eve. But we would go and have a very lovely day and have lunch and do some early shopping and those kinds of things. But it was mostly to spend the day there and see the Christmas decorations and have lunch and have a nice time. So that was always a wonderful memory, a very nice tradition. But the day after Thanksgiving now for me is like, it's quiet. Everybody's tired from the day before. Everybody's taking a break. It's just so nice. And, when I was in New York, it was always cold and rainy or whatever. And I would just stay home, get cozy. It's a cozy day, but it's nice and quiet. So, I like that day. People are out shopping. I'm staying home. That's great. Any case, use this energy wisely. Use it to expand your life. Use it to be grateful. Use it to be expansive in your business. Use it to be open to new things, to explore new things, to book travel plans, to open the door to new friends, to open the door to old friends who might return as of a Mars retrograde, This is all big, big, big energy. Don't eat too much on Thursday if you're celebrating Thanksgiving. Please be careful. Please be careful, So that's part of it. That's part of it. Now, the other thing that's going on is that this new moon in Sagittarius is the first lunation after the eclipses. And that means it is releasing the eclipse energy. Releasing the eclipse energy. And if you feel that some matters from the eclipse are still hanging over your head, well, then you're going to probably feel something about this eclipse or these eclipses in your daily life this week and probably Wednesday when we are moving through that new moon. Okay, so this is something very powerful. It's such a powerful new moon. It's really good to do a ritual, really good. This is an expansion ritual. This is a big wish ritual. Where do you really need to expand in your life? And what is that going to be good for you? Where is it going to be good in your life? Okay, so let's narrow it down. What do you want? Where is it going to be good for you? Is it going to be good for your family? Is it going to be good for your business? Is it going to be good for your everyday life? How does that look? What will your life look like if you have this big wish come true? Okay? Where is this going to help you in your life? So this is such a wonderful big wish time. But, if you had anything from the eclipses hanging over, that's a story. This is a time to wrap it up. And this is a time to bring to some sort of conclusion. But it's also a time to be grateful for whatever you had during the eclipse. How many times have I said that so far? Anyway, it's so, so good to experience this energy. Bask in it, enjoy it, love it. Love yourself during this. Do something really, really special for yourself during this time. So take advantage of this. We don't see this many big turns and blessings that come our way in this type of aspect. So it really is a special event, and it's so important, so important. Now, what happens after that? Well, after Sagittarius comes Capricorn. So on Friday, the moon will square Jupiter at 2:22 p.m. Eastern Time, go void, and then just a shade before 2 hours later, 4:18 p.m., it will enter the sign of Capricorn. And that is where things get much more practical and useful and sobering and straightforward. And very much about being not in this big energy of Jupiter. It's the narrower energy of Saturn. And that will be for the rest of the weekend. Pretty much it goes void Sunday the 27th, sextile Jupiter at 3:11 p.m. And then it enters Aquarius at 5:07 p.m. next Sunday before the end of the weekend. So, and then, it's in Aquarius till all of Sunday night, and then we go into Monday, the 28th. And then November is almost over. Yes, today's the 20th. That means there's 10 more days left in November, which sounds like a lot. But when you think about it, this week, if you're celebrating Thanksgiving, it's a short week. And then by the time the weekend ends, you are then entering the end of November next weekend. So this is all sorts of stuff. Now, there's other things going on. One of those things is that, when Jupiter is at the end of Pisces as it is, and then it makes this direct station, it's more than a wish to be granted. There's prayers answered. Okay? There's prayers answered. And there's that point of atonement that I mentioned a few weeks ago. There's that point of surrender, and that we surrender to something greater than ourselves, and that we have faith in something greater than ourselves. So the end of Pisces is the end of the zodiac, and Jupiter sitting there and stationing and going direct at the end of the zodiac is very important. It really is this moment of, atonement and gratitude, and the experience of releasing something. So this is a huge day, Wednesday, when Jupiter turns direct at that point and releases the eclipses with the new moon, and Jupiter governs the new moon, and it's so big that we have to really pay attention and use this energy to our advantage. What do you want to create now? Where can you take a big leap forward? And you know what? The other day on Instagram, I talked about compounding. And what is compounding? It's when you are working on something, and you're working on something for a lot. Now, it could be something kind of unconscious, and it could be something very deep. And it usually is something deep. You're working through something, you're working on something, and bit by bit, every day, you're shifting, you're growing, you're changing, and you're cooking in the oven of the universe. Maybe you're working towards something and you're saying, why hasn't this happened yet? Why hasn't this expanded yet? Where's my, I worked so hard. Where's my gift at the end of the, rainbow? Where's that pot of gold? Where's my achievement, accomplishment, the things that I've worked so hard for? And then when we don't even recognize what's happening a lot of the times, because we're so busy working towards our goal. And then it's cooking in the oven of the universe, and then it pops and we shift and everything opens up. But there's a certain amount of surrender that goes with that, you just keep going and going. You don't give up, and you just go, you fold your arms in exasperation and you say, well, that's it. I don't know what else to do. You just got to keep moving towards it, because that's the nature of this energy. I think a lot of us have been waiting for a big shift for a long time, and I think we're finally going to get it. Jupiter will stay in Pisces. Once it goes direct, it'll stay in Pisces for another few weeks and eventually go back into Aries proper. It'll go back into Aries on the 21st of December, in time for the winter solstice on the 22nd. And Jupiter goes into Aries, and it, hits that 0 degrees Aries point, the world axis. And, I've said this before. My teacher used to say, Jupiter thinks it's in Aries. It's really still in Pisces. Yeah. And then it goes into Aries on December 21st, for real. And then it's going to do this for a while. It goes into Aries, it stays in Aries, then it dips into Taurus, and then it comes back and goes into Aries. It does this. But really, what we're looking at is Jupiter going into Aries for real and making the Aries transit. And this is not the same as it going into Aries and turning around at 7 and going back into Pisces again. It's not finished with Pisces. If it was finished with Pisces and stayed in Aries, then that's different, but it's not. It didn't do that. And so the surrender, the end of the zodiac, the surrender that comes at the end of the zodiac, the atonement, the release. So there's so much being released on Wednesday. And then again, another release in a month on the 21st when it goes into Aries, and we're done. We're done with the end of the zodiac, and we're starting the new 12-year cycle of Jupiter in starting the zodiac all over again on the 21st. It didn't do that when it did that back in May. It didn't do that. It has now gone back into Pisces in these last weeks, and it's definitely showing us where we need to release, surrender, let go, and trust. It's such a degree of trust, okay? Benefits do come. So this is why I keep emphasizing this Wednesday, I keep emphasizing it. So I think people are going to feel really a lot of gratitude on Thursday when they do have their Thanksgiving. And I hope so. And I hope some really good things happen for everybody. So that's about it. We have a very Jupiterian week. We're in this phase of Jupiter, the sun talking to Jupiter and the sun going into Sagittarius. So I'm optimistic. This is an optimistic week. All our optimism is really piling up this week. And some of the things that we've been waiting for and some of the things that we've been wanting to have happen and we've put our faith in, those are the things that I am hoping come forward for everyone this week. Other aspects that we're having is Mercury is trining Chiron on Thursday. Friday, Venus is trining Chiron. So they are going to sort of massage that wound and make it a little better. So see, things are working a little better for everyone. We're even Chiron's getting a nice jolt of energy from Sagittarius. Chiron's in Aries. This nice jolt of energy. We're looking at this. So that's another nice soft aspect. And last night I saw Jupiter in the sky when I was standing outside at the wedding. It was just so beautiful, shining brightly for the lovely couple and for us. And I thought, what a wonderful, auspicious thing to see Jupiter in the sky on this lovely wedding night. And then, we have this incredible Jupiterian week ahead. So I think this was a really good sign. And I think we're going to have some really good surprises this week. And bless our hearts, we've been through so much. And I hope this Jupiterian energy kind of mitigates the Mars-Neptune. And it's not so harsh for people. I am aware that there are harsh things going on in the world. There are always some harsh things going on in the world. But I hope that personally everyone gains from this Jupiter and it does mitigate some of the harshness that we've seen with Mars and Neptune. And a lot from that square. So I thank you for listening. If you would like to join me in a session, please go to my website, goldenastrologer.com, click on Book Online. You can find it right there at the top of the page. My Instagram is The Golden Astrologer, and I put offers in my stories, so please stay alert to that. I am going to be running some sale this week, so please stay in touch with me for that. And you can get gift cards now. Just look in my stories. I am also on this podcast every week, and I am offering Reiki sessions, 5D Lemurian Reiki, which is wonderful and healing and so thoroughly therapeutic and just a beautiful experience. And there's more to come in the new year from me. Meanwhile, join us on December 28th for our prediction event. Now, I'm not a real predictive astrologer, but I did look at the year ahead with my colleagues, my friends, and we have an event planned for you on the 28th of December. So I advise you to sign up. You can sign up in my stories, my Facebook stories, The Golden Astrologer, my Instagram stories. The other day I put it up and I showed a link where to go to do that. And I will be putting more of that out in the coming weeks, December 28th. Thank you again for listening. A beautiful Jupiterian week ahead. Gratitude to all for listening.